Okay, we are officially recording. For people who are going to be watching this later on that don't know me, my name is Chisani, and I'm helping virtual bookkeepers attract their dream clients online. And today I'm interviewing the amazing Grace. I love that, amazing Grace. About her social media content membership and just getting to know a little bit about her and how she helps wonderful bookkeepers like you. So Grace, I'll let you take it from here with a quick introduction.
My name is Grace Costa. I am the founder and owner of Social Accountant. It's a marketing membership for bookkeepers and accountants. We provide done-for-you social media content and email marketing content. We also help with marketing strategies, tactics, and some awesome other bonus templates that we have in our membership. And we send that all out to you every month on the 20th, straight to your inbox. Our mission with Social Accountant is to make marketing fun, easy, and accessible for bookkeepers and accountants, so that they can get seen, attract, and get in front of their ideal clients on social media and ultimately get more clients online. Also, with our mission, we want to, through our content and through our members, we want to help educate business owners on the importance of bookkeeping, the value of bookkeepers, and that, high sales and high revenue is not the only focus in running a business, but creating a strong financial foundation is important in creating a successful business. And so bookkeepers and accountants play a huge role in this. And that's why me and my team are really excited and passionate about this, because we were bookkeepers and accountants in our previous career roles. And we saw just, there was a struggle between trying to communicate the value of bookkeeping and the values of bookkeepers to business owners. And so that's our goal through our content, is to, fill in that gap and build awareness around that.
Oh, that is wonderful. And I'm really glad that you put this together, because I know like social media can be really, really overwhelming to a lot of bookkeepers, like trying to figure out what the heck to post, like overcoming the fear of posting in general anyway, like having your stuff like out there online for the world to see. It can be very overwhelming. So I'm glad that you put this together and that you all already have like a background in accounting, because I know it has its own challenges and like ups and downs that you need to know about. And when you hire like a regular social media marketer that doesn't already have experience in the industry, you're going to get like pretty like, I guess, generic type of results, So I'm glad you have that experience. That's wonderful. So I'm curious to know, like, I know you said you already had like a background in bookkeeping and accounting, but I guess when did you officially get started, and when did you know, like, okay, this is what I need to do, social media instead of actual bookkeeping?
So I was a bookkeeper for about 8 years before I moved into marketing a couple of years ago. But I really just love entrepreneurship. I love working with business owners. I love, I love business in general. So I felt like, the transition was pretty, it was pretty evident to me when, like my last role, we had worked with a brand strategist. He was a marketing strategist, and I was helping my boss at that time get more clients for his like boutique business. And it was just like, it was something that was really exciting when, we were actually, as a team, we were learning about how to market ourselves online and build a better website. And I was already at that point where I was helping my boss grow his business. So I was already kind of stepping away from the day-to-day bookkeeping and helping him with like the virtual CFO services, and as well as like his marketing. I think it wasn't really until I had my second child that I had to unfortunately quit that job. And then I was figuring out what I can do on my own, start my own business and work on my own terms, because I still wanted to serve, small business. I still loved working with clients. I just didn't know if I wanted to start a bookkeeping business. And I actually started with first creating a course on how to apply for bookkeeping jobs, because in my last role I was already training bookkeepers, and so it was kind of like a no-brainer to start to continue to do that. But it wasn't until I started networking more on Facebook groups that I saw that there was like a struggle between, marketing and also like trying to communicate the value of bookkeepers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where it all came. And I actually love design and I love creating things. I had created a blog back when my oldest was a baby, and so I was already familiar with Canva. I had already started promoting myself in that, like, that part. So I think it really just ramped up when I met one of my team members, and she was also an accountant, and she was really good with Canva and templates, and it just kind of like came up when we started to see that it was more of like a demand for like how can we build our social media pages, and like what kind of content do we need to post. So that's kind of where that all came about. And I saw a lot of the generic templates that I saw on Facebook ads that were good for like coaches and things like that, but it wasn't really explaining anything about bookkeeping or a specific niche. So I think that's really came about when I saw that ad about pre-made social media templates, and I thought, okay, this is perfect for bookkeepers, because there's such a demand for like trying to understand how to post, and like what you said, what to post, and just creating content in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I see those all the time, like the ads for like templates for like coaches and stuff like that. And they're so generic. You have to customize the heck out of it if you use it for a bookkeeping business. And that kind of just really defeats the point. It's making you think too much. So
Yes, because you still have to figure out the content, and
Mhm.
really it's the content that is going to speak out to your audience. And so if you have like a motivational post that doesn't really tell much about you, I mean, I think it's still a good post, but it doesn't really say anything about your knowledge, your expertise, and who you are and who you serve and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to know, like, what is one of like the biggest mistakes you see bookkeepers make with their social media?
So I think there's a few things, but I think the number one thing is just not getting started and feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think really for me, I'm very process oriented. So I like to think things as a system. So, for somebody getting started, just have a checklist of, okay, I need to build my page. And the second thing is I need to get clear on my message. I need to have a clear call to action. And if there's a niche, make sure you add that to your profile. And then the next thing would be to start to create the content. This is kind of where it gets, overwhelming for them. But you just have to remember, like, what is the expertise, like, what is your knowledge that you kind of want to bring out of you and speak to your clients about. And that's of course bookkeeping. And what are the things that you see our business owners are having mistakes in regards to, like, bookkeeping, their finances, business in general. Like, so those are things that you can start to create content on. And you don't even need to start designing on Canva. You could just start posting and writing your content out first. And then then you can start dabbling with Canva and see how you can kind of fit in with your content. But like when we create content as a team, we always focus on the message. That's
Mhm.
why that's why we focus on the message first, the messaging, before we focus on the design and how it looks, the aesthetic part. And
Yeah.
so I think for you, getting that, for business owners, getting that content out, like in valuable tips, things that would be helpful and useful for them, I think that's a good start. And then, once you get on a consistent schedule on posting, then that's when you kind of want to start to see, okay, I'm comfortable with creating more content, or I have more ideas, because once you get those creative juices going, it starts to flow. But make sure that you're also writing everything down, because that's also really helpful. And sometimes you have this great idea for a post, but you forget to write it down. So
Yes.
make sure that you write that down. And I think really in general, like just taking your marketing seriously, you know what I mean? And what I mentioned about creating a system, like put that in writing, like create an SOP for marketing for yourself. Um, Make sure that you have a step-by-step on like what you can do, and then if you need help, reach out, to other, you can start to reach out to people like you, as far as like really good resources. And then I think really it's important to have that rhythm going, so that you stay consistent, because that's the magic behind posting, is like the consistency. Magic behind being actually getting clients is through being consistent with
Yeah.
your posting, and also making sure that you're providing that valuable content. um, I think that's a couple of the things that I wanted to point out that's really important, is having a system and
Mhm.
then being consistent with it.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I'm actually guilty of not having a system sometimes and forgetting to write things down. So I completely agree with that. Um, how often do you feel like people need to start posting just starting out? I know normally I tell people that I'm not a social media expert, but I pretty much just tell people what you can stick with, like on a regular
Yes,
basis,
yes,
and then kind of
yeah,
grow as you go. But what is
yeah.
your advice for that? Like, how often do you think people need to start?
So I recommend as often as possible. Like I said, marketing should be a big bulk of your daily task, at least in my opinion, because it's what grows your company, is
Hmm.
the marketing and sales part. So you need to take that seriously and put that as like a non-negotiable for yourself. Whether it's sending whether it's creating a post or creating an email or a blog, write that down as like one thing I need to do to move my business forward.
Hmm.
Um, and so I think that's the way to get momentum. And then also, um, one strategy that I use for creating content for our members is this thing called the content matrix.
Okay.
So if you pull up a Google sheet, you'll have your top row, and then your first column on your top row, you want to add like certain ways to showcase your content. So that'll be like how-tos,
Hmm.
checklists, certain ways to format your content.
Okay.
And then like other engaging things like this or that, or a question, a Q&A. So you can fill that up in the top row, and then on the first column, then you want to break down what are the aspects of bookkeeping. And you can even add on their business as well, because that is a huge part. Like, finances is the backbone of a business. So you can cover the business part of that as well. So, um, just starting really simply by number one being like the chart of accounts, accounts receivable, accounts payable, things that are bookkeeping related that you
Hmm.
can talk upon, that would be useful for your client, for your potential audience. But I don't recommend getting too technical. I
Hmm.
think you want to talk as if like you're speaking to somebody that doesn't know anything about bookkeeping. So that's one thing you want to remember. So that content matrix is really helpful for getting the juices flowing. And I think that will just be that. I think that's a good stepping stone for creating content. Oh, and I forgot to mention the other mistake with the lesson and mistake that business owners make, is that they don't engage enough on social media. So make it also a non-negotiable task for your business to engage on social media, because that's posting and then engaging is like they have to be done together. Otherwise, then you're not really using the full potential of social media if you're not engaging with, your ideal audience
Mm-hmm.
or your potential clients online. And that's where you actually get your content seen, is by liking and sharing and commenting on their content, introducing yourself also in the DMs, and then just introducing yourself, and also saying that you're available as like a helpful resource if they ever need to reach out to you or anything like that. So I think that's really important as well. And I forgot to mention that because posting and engaging are, you have to have both when you're on social media.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree. I don't know how technical it is, like with the algorithms and how things work, but is it a certain like window of time that you need to try to engage by? Like if you're like, I know a lot of people schedule their posts. So if you happen to schedule a post and then somebody comments or something and you don't see it until like hours later, like is it too late to engage or you should still do it?
No, I think whenever you can engage, I recommend at least spending like 10 to 15 minutes a day, like
Mhm.
in the morning and the afternoon, engaging, and also making sure that you are responding to people that engage on your content as well.
Okay.
And then I think, really the best way is just to make sure you stay consistent and um, do it when you can. I know we're all solopreneurs, we're all business owners, so there's, and also we're all, some of us are parents and we've got a lot of things, other things going on, but as long as you can stay consistent and have that time, like that time blocked for that, I think you're definitely good to go as far as your social media.
Okay, perfect. Because I know I'm guilty of seeing something like over the weekend. I'm like, oh, is it even like, do I even need to respond
No,
back? Like, are they gonna look at me crazy?
you should always respond back. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Um, I know when it comes to like social media, like post scheduling, I normally recommend Buffer because I know they have a free version and that's like the only one I've tried so far. Is that a tool that you recommend, or do you have a certain one that you prefer or recommend to most of your clients?
So we use Facebook, the Business Meta Suite, the Meta Business Suite, and that's a free tool. And that's connected obviously to your Facebook and your Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it works just as well as a third-party scheduler. And it has a really nice calendar that you can see everything that's scheduled or posted. So that's what I recommend because it's free. Um, Metricool has, I think it's like free up to a certain amount. I don't know if it's 20 or 30 posts, but
Mm-hmm.
Metricool is also a good third-party scheduler. And then if you're on LinkedIn, LinkedIn has its own scheduler now from what I
Oh,
had. Yeah, from what I have heard. We were using Metricool to schedule content, but now now it has a built-in scheduler. So I think, yeah, it's not as nice as the Business Meta Suite or the Meta Business Suite, but it's there. So that's what I recommend. If you can use a platform, then that's great too.
okay, perfect. Yeah, I didn't even know that LinkedIn had a scheduler. That's awesome. I'm going through some more questions from what people have been asking. One question that we got in the Facebook group was how to get more exposure to your business page. Any advice for that?
Yeah. So the first thing you want to make sure is that your profile is optimized. So making sure that you have certain keywords in your profile, because social media also relies heavily on SEO as
Mhm.
well as hashtags. So make sure you're always using keywords in your profile and your content. And then you also have a clear call to action in your profile. Um, I think really the best thing is to create quality content, because the number one goal for social media platforms is for you to stay on as long as possible. So if you're creating quality content that's useful, and educational for your ideal audience, um, I think that's the best way to get eyeballs on, especially from your audience, to get eyeballs on your content. At the end of the day, you want to speak out to your ideal audience. You don't need to worry about anybody else except for them, and creating the content that's going to help serve them and their business. So strategies behind this is creating long form posts, because or carousels, long form carousels, and then also captions, writing out your captions. That way, they have some time, they'll have the time to like read your content. And you have up to 10 pages, I think, for carousels. So Instagram carousels are really good for getting, getting your ideal audience to read your content, because especially if you have a really good hook on your first page, like a really good headline. And then also, I mentioned hashtags, so making sure that you use hashtags that your ideal audience is using, as well as a mixture of your own, like for example, bookkeeping, business. And then you can also search online what are more trending hashtags by just doing like a trending hashtag search. And then you can switch it up. We switch up our hashtags here and there, but I think the main thing that we always focus on is keywords and the captions.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also making sure that you use a business account instead of a personal account, because that's really important, because personal accounts don't have as much reach and visibility as business accounts. And then I think the other thing that I didn't mention was if you have a niche, to call out your niche in the post and also in the captions, and make sure that it's one of the first things that they see, so that it stops, because people are flipping their feed, and so you want to have a headline that will slow down their scroll. And usually a good headline calling out your niches is what's going to do that for you. And I think, yeah, and then the other thing also was use like new features, for example, like reels, if you can. You don't have to dance, obviously, but if you can take the time to do reels, either like creating a Canva template, and creating a reel from that, I think that's really helpful. Or if you're okay with talking into the video, as I mentioned before, you just want to focus on the content that's helpful and useful for your ideal audience. You can still use like trending audio, but making sure that that content is there for them. Yeah, I think I covered it for as far as making sure your content gets seen. But I think the most important part really is staying consistent, and then also don't forget to engage as well on social media.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that you want to look at the algorithm as like a point reward system. So getting like a like, for example, I don't know the exact points, but this is kind of like the priority of, as far as content getting seen, is like getting one like is 1 point, getting a comment is 2 points, and getting a share or a save is like 3 or 4 points. So the more that you can get more likes, more comments, or more saves, that will push out your content further. But like I said, I think one of the strategies that we teach in the membership is to actually reach out to your ideal audience, whether it be in the DMs or on their content, and engage on their content.
I love that. And I think that'll bring me to like one big question that I've been having. What are some tips or like do's and don'ts for like reaching out in DMs? Because I've seen some really spammy DMs. And
Yes. And yeah, no, I hear you. And it's really important to, to clear the ground on this, to provide some context. It's important to come out and lead with value. really, and make sure that when you reach out to your an ideal client, that you know that you don't come out as like spammy and just like give your scheduler link or whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
want to first introduce yourself. I mean, it would almost be like, you know, reaching out to you if I met you in person. So I would call you out by your first name. If you can see their, if you can find their name, that'd be great. So I'd say, hi Grace. You know, my name is Grace. I'm the owner of Busy Bee Bookkeeping, and I specialize in bookkeeping for marketing agencies. And if you have any questions about your bookkeeping or setting up QuickBooks, feel free to reach out. And you can end it like that. You don't need to sell anything. The main thing is really just to introduce yourself and
Mm-hmm.
show yourself as like a resource to them, a connection. And that's really where the, you know, the relationship building starts, and that's what's really important um, when getting clients online. And you know, that's when you start doing your lead generation strategies, where, you know, if they do respond, then you can start to, you know, add them in this like Google Sheet tracker that, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she said that she would be interested. And then so you want to follow up on that interest. And then if, you know, some business owners are just like, oh yeah, I definitely need your help, you know, when's a good time, then that's when you want to say, uh, you know, that's when you want to go ahead and say, oh, you know, that's exciting. I'm excited to get to know you and your business. And then right then and there, I highly recommend booking a call with them. Like, you book the call instead of allowing them to book the call
Oh.
themselves, because they will forget. You know, I myself, you know, will forget because something will pull my attention elsewhere. So that's why it's really important to stay connected and also close that loop, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But if they say that, oh, they're, you know, they're they'll keep you in mind, then you can just like reply. I always recommend replying to their comment, giving, you know, whether it's a heart, and then saying, okay, that's great, thank you, you know, thanks for your time. I think giving the impression that you're friendly and you're helpful goes a long way, you know, and they'll also remember you because, you know, you took the time out to reach out to them. And you have to remember that you're not actually, you know, you're not spamming them with like, you know, weird things. And you know, you're not saying, you're not coming out like, oh, you need a new logo, or your website looks funny. Like, you're coming out with leading with value. So that's why you shouldn't feel like, you know, you're intruding or stepping on any stones. You want to make sure that you always lead with value and that you're there to help them, and you know, to answer any questions that they have. And most times, you know, if they are ready, they'll just say, hey, you know, when's a good time to meet with you?
Mm-hmm.
And um, and I think, and that's when you get the ball rolling as far as like building, uh, you know, getting them in your pipeline as far as like your sales process.
Okay. Okay, perfect. That was good to know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
always hear like the send them the link and stuff like that. Send them the link to the calendar. So what you said makes sense though, because people do forget. So I I learned something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay engaged, and as I mentioned, like, you know, add them to a Google Sheet where you're tracking, like, you know, your leads or potential clients, because that's really important. And if they say that, you know, hey, they had a question but they didn't ask, you can always follow up the next day, or you know, a few days later, and say, hey, you know, you mentioned that you had a question, or was there anything that I can help you with? Things
Mhm.
like that, you know. So try and stay engaged as much as possible, especially if it's a, you know, somebody that really shows interest in you
Yeah.
or says that they need bookkeeping. Yeah, so that's also the process of, um, that's also the part of having a system too, is making sure that you know, you're tracking them and you're organizing all your marketing efforts.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And I'm assuming that's something like you help with the membership too?
Hmm.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You're helping people like get everything out the way without having to think. Perfect.
Yes,
Wonderful.
we actually have that script in when we send out like our emails with marketing strategies. We have that TM script. We try to make it as easy and seamless as possible. So all you need to do is just like, engage, post your content and engage.
That's wonderful. I'm gonna have to see if I can get a copy of that script for myself. But that's perfect. Okay, so if you don't mind, I want to pull up your site really quick to ask you a few questions about the membership specifically, and like who is it for and who is not a good fit for. So trying to pull that up. Are you able to see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So I'm looking through it, like your site is beautiful. Like it makes me want to sign up. Like I wish I was doing bookkeeping so that I could sign up for this and not have to worry about my social media. But I'm just curious to know, like, who is this a good fit for? I mean, aside from the bookkeepers and accountants, but who is it like perfect for, in your opinion?
So if you're just starting out and you want to build your online presence, it's perfect for you. If you just, if you try to create content on your own and you're just like, it's taking me too much time, I'm not creative, I don't really, I really don't know what to say, I think when it starts to take up a lot of your time and it starts to get frustrating, then it's perfect. It's a perfect start to get the ball rolling as far as your marketing. And then also, if you already have an established brand, but and Instagram and Facebook is your jam, but you're so busy doing other things like fulfilling client work and other services, and you need somebody to help you. We also have like a plan where you hire us to post and schedule the content for you. So that's also, so for established businesses, that's also an option.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't know that you even well, no, I think I saw it before. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So hire you both brand and post. That's wonderful. Oh, that's so exciting. Okay. So is there anyone that this is not a good fit for?
Well, if you're not a bookkeeper and accountant, then it's not a good fit for you. If you already have a marketing agency that's doing really well for you, then you don't need to change what's already working for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But if you do have a marketing agency, but they're kind of like dropping the ball as far as like understanding like your business, then it would be a good fit. But I think anyone outside of like bookkeepers and accountants, it wouldn't really be a good fit because most of our content is about bookkeeping and accounting and as well as taxes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So thank you so much, Grace. This was all super helpful. I learned a lot from our call. um, okay, so scrolling down, I see that you offer like full service social media and lead generation
Mhm.
too, which is awesome. Would you want to tell us a
Yes.
little bit more about that quickly?
And this is pretty much for the bookkeeping or CPA or tax firm that has a budget for marketing. They know that social media is where they want to get most of their clients from, or they know that that's the platform that they need to reach their ideal clients on. And so this is an option for somebody for the business that wants a completely custom setup, a custom custom work as far as like the post, and also email marketing. And then we also help with creating landing pages, lead magnets, things like that. The only thing we don't help with is like website. But as far as like, your lead generation from like uh, when your ideal client sees you to the end process of where they decide to book a call with you, we help with that. And it's for the business I mentioned that have the budget, the monthly budget, and also it's perfect for those that have a niche because it's, I think when you have a niche, it's definitely a lot easier to market your
Yeah.
services, and also it helps you be that like industry leader or that that the brand for that particular industry or that group of businesses.
Mm-hmm. And I totally agree. I always like recommend people having a niche. It makes the marketing easier, faster, more.
Yes.
It's just wonderful.
Yeah, and it helps you stay consistent too. And you're
Mm-hmm.
not like flip-flopping between, do I need to call out my e-commerce clients, or do I need to call out my, like, my health coaches, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I always, I don't, I'm not saying, like, we're not saying to stop serving these clients. We're
Mm-hmm.
just saying, like, as far as marketing and to make things less overwhelming for you, it's a really, that's kind of the direction that you want to take.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And people will still reach out saying, "Can you help me? I know I'm not sure."
Exactly.
They'll still
Yeah.
reach out.
They don't really care that you only work with like health coaches. They just want to, if they know somebody and they love your work, and they know somebody needs your services, they'll just say, hey, um, um, so and so does bookkeeping. I'm going to send them your way anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. This is wonderful. Like I learned a lot, and I'm sure people that's going to watch this later on are going to learn a lot from everything that you talked about today. Um, Before I let you go, did you have anything else that you want to share about your membership or social media marketing in general? Maybe like
Hmm.
ways to reach out to you.
Okay, I did forget to mention that your marketing does not end with getting a client. It continues on with your existing clients. So
Hmm.
one of the things I always tell our members is, like, as soon as they become a client, make sure that you have in your calendar that you're going to send them out like an email, for asking for a referral, asking for a review. So make sure that you have that on your calendar as soon as they sign up with you as a monthly client. After about 2 to 3 months, ask for that review, put them on like a referral program,
Hmm.
um, that's enticing. So for example, 20% off like one month's invoice, something that's really attractive that gets them their attention,
Yeah.
is going to be important, for them to take action. And so the next thing would be, get their birthday. Make sure that you're sending something for them on their birthday, whether it's a card or a email or whatnot. Just show that you acknowledge, them as a person and as a client. And then the next thing would be, um, also, is to continue to give them value. Send them like maybe a quarterly email newsletter, just
Hmm.
on updates, friendly reminders about deadlines. Hey, it's tax season. Hey, it's the end of the quarter. Hey, it's the year end. Like, hey, it's the beginning of the year. So
Hmm.
things like that is going to continue to give value to your clients. And so, like, the marketing doesn't stop there, because when you give like really good service, and you're an amazing bookkeeper for them, then they're going to spread that word. And just like word of mouth and referrals is just, that's the dream, right? That's a
Yeah.
marketing strategy in itself. So make sure that you don't just end your marketing there. Continue to nurture the relationships with your new clients now.
I could not agree more, especially with like
Hmm.
the reviews and referral program that is so big. And I know people get uncomfortable asking for reviews and referrals, but it's
Yeah.
super important. And people
Yes, yes.
gladly do it. They just forget or don't
Yeah.
think about it unless you ask.
I mean, you're a rock star bookkeeper, so you might as well just, like, you know, make sure that everybody else is, you're able to serve other people as well. So
Hmm.
I think that's really important to get, you know, that mindset around, like, you're there to help your client as well as to help others.
Hmm. Absolutely. I could not agree more. So thank you so much, Grace. This was wonderful. You're a wealth of knowledge. Thank you. Because I do not like social media, and I know a lot of other bookkeepers like do not like it at all. So you've helped a lot by talking to us and putting this content membership together. So thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you as well for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So I'll go ahead and let you go. The recording, when I post this in the group, of course, I'll have all of your contact information for people that want to reach out to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're in the group. Yay. So if
yeah,
anyone has a social media marketing question, they can reach out. Maybe I can tag you if that's okay, and they can get in touch with you that way.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, you can reach out if you have any questions. Just reach out to me. I'm always on Instagram or Facebook.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Grace. This was awesome.
Yeah,
And I look forward to seeing you around in the group and chatting with you more.
thank you as well. Have a great day.
You too.